the U.S. began airlifting baby formula from Europe because apparently the people who determined that we needed to use military planes to go and get infant formula from Europe, they forgot that we had the private ability to ship things from other countries on things like boats. They're called boats. They're these structures that float on the water, and they have engines and stuff. And then what are non-military planes, even commercial airlines. So apparently the people who decided to write this, Tom Vilsack, so many jokes, the agriculture secretary, he was speaking in Indianapolis, and they made a big show about a plane that came in from Ramstein Air Base in Germany. And they said, yes, look, we've got the formula, woo. I mean, they could have just not been blocking shipments of formula from Europe this entire flipping time, because that's what you realize that's what was happening, right? That Customs was taking formula that was coming in from Europe and destroying it, and you're not allowed to ship it in from Europe. All literally they had to do was say, no, you can do that now. They didn't, but they wanted to make a big show. They wanted to make a big show. Look, we're saving babies. I mean, out of the uterus anyway. We're saving them. And they wanted a big thing to make it look like Biden was getting something done, when all he literally had to do was say, hey, go ahead and allow these shipments to come in from Europe. This is the stupidest flex I've ever seen in my life. People are eating this up. They're like, oh, yay, that military plane that came in. You're so great, Tom Vilsack. Maybe they're not cheering him specifically, but Nestle produces 2 of the formula brands that were part of the shipment. They said that because they're designed for kids with allergies, they would be available through hospitals and home healthcare companies. Small quantities potentially available online. Again, you didn't even need to do the Defense Production Act to increase production and authorize use of Defense Department planes. You didn't even have to do that. All you had to do was allow people to purchase formula from Europe and have it come in with everything else. Right? I mean, I got a damn bottle of olive oil from Italy that came in like the last week. You're not telling me they couldn't have thrown some cans of formula on the plane or ship or whatever that brought my olive oil over? You're telling me that they couldn't throw in some cans of formula on that? Shut up. I don't believe it. This is so silly. This whole thing is a problem that government created, and the government wants to act like hey, look, we solved it. But you actually didn't, because it's still going to be bad unless you allow for purchase and importation of formula from Europe. It's not going to improve. So I don't know what they think they're doing. So ridiculous. But I mean, at least, we're getting some formula. There's one plane load. It's not like we've got millions of babies in the country or anything. Meantime, sick babies have been admitted to the hospital because of this formula shortage. Infants in the U.S. have been admitted to the hospital because of formula shortages. Pediatricians say the crisis is worsening and that hospitals can only provide short-term solutions. This sounds like back in the days of, I don't know, like before we had child labor laws and stuff, back before we had like electricity and gasoline-powered vehicles, the horse and buggy. This is what it sounds like. We have transported ourselves back into the days of yore, because we would not allow, and we still have not remedied, just being able to simply purchase baby formula and having it come in from Europe. Think about all the stuff that you purchase. Think about all the stuff that you've bought and how much of that stuff is made overseas. I know, like we should get, but I'm telling you, I wanted a particular type of olive oil that's like for Italy, and so blah, blah, blah. Long story short, though, just think about how many things that, for instance, even things that you buy that are U.S. made that have parts or materials that come from elsewhere out of the country. Every one of those shipments in all these countries, I mean, you could utilize that instead of having to make a big show of using a military plane. Look, we brought some baby formula. Woo! High fives, back pats. It's theater.